Hey everybody, it's Father John here, and happy first Sunday of Advent. It's the beginning of the liturgical year and our days of kind of getting ready and a little closer to Christmas. And we could use that spirit of Christmas probably in these days for sure. So you can see our Advent wreath. We're getting preparations ready as we kind of move from Thanksgiving to this first Sunday of Advent. Just a good reminder about some of the things of how we celebrate and pray here. Please remember our regular Mass schedule, continues as it has, and we have that additional 10 a.m. Mass in the auditorium for now. We're going to keep that for a little bit and see how it goes. We offer that Mass just because it creates a more space for people and some room to spread out. Also remind you that the 6 o'clock Mass on Sunday night is usually a little less crowded. So if you're concerned, let's say you're coming to the 8 and it's feeling a little crowded for you, then come to the 6 and have more room and more space, and so you can be comfortable. Some other reminders though about coming to Mass, and this is not about Advent, this is just about good practice and really loving ourselves and loving one another. The first is if you don't feel well, please don't come. Even if you're just uncertain, please don't come. You put yourself and you put potentially other people at risk. Remember, all of the practices that we've been doing continue. When you come in, you have to come through those main doors. You have to sanitize your hands, You have to wear your mask that covers both your mouth and your nose, and you have to do the best you can to keep a 6-foot distance from the people around you. We look, as we pay attention to medicine and public health, it does look like we're going to have an increase in coronavirus in the weeks ahead. So let's do the best we can to keep safe and cautious, both for ourselves and for one another. And we'll update you if the schedule changes, if we add an additional Mass, or maybe even adapt our schedule in the weeks ahead. We'll let you know as that happens. Advent and Christmas are pretty important times in the outreach work of the church, and we've just finished providing for over 130 families in our parish for Thanksgiving, and now the work of Christmas begins, and providing opportunities for people to celebrate a good Christmas. Those who struggle in some way or can't quite necessarily celebrate Christmas as they would prefer to, so we help them out. So there are a couple of ways for all of us to be involved in these days of Advent. And if you go online, check the bulletin, we're going to send everyone an email in a little bit. Here are some ways and some things you can do. The first is you can sponsor a family, which would mean that you would help us to provide Christmas for a family. And this year, we're only collecting gift cards. So there are no toys, no other items, just because of the precautions that we need to take in these days and times. So you can sponsor a family and we'll provide more information about what's needed and required for that. Or if you can help us just by donating gift cards in increments of $10 or $25. And we have a limited number of stores that we're asking for those gift cards to, if that's what you would choose to do. To Kohl's, to Amazon, to Walmart, and to Target. And if you want to bring those cards, you can drop them off in the parish office when the parish office is open. You can also bring them here to church. When you come into the church, there'll be a member of the Cane of Care crew in the nice red shirt. And even if you forget at the beginning, if you give those cards to someone wearing that Cane of Care crew t-shirt, they'll put it in our safe location and everything will be secure for Christmas. We're hoping this year to also provide a Christmas meal for people, something we haven't done. So if you wanted to be part of sponsoring that as well, that's a big help. And that was so well received at Thanksgiving. The other way to be involved this Advent is through the Advent giving tree. Now, this looks pretty pathetic, I agree, because all the tags are off it, which is a great sign. But these are all the tags for the Advent giving tree that will be refilled this weekend coming up. And that helps our street ministry and our food pantry ministry. Those items can be dropped off as you come into the church into the big red boxes, and we'll sort out everything as you go. You don't need to wrap those gifts, you just need to drop them off, because often they're put in the hands of people through our ministries, through the street ministry and through our regular outreach work and through the pantry ministry as well. All right, so these are certainly different and challenging times, but we've responded so well in these days, and as we pray in these days of Advent to prepare our hearts for Jesus to dwell, one of the best ways to do that is by serving one another. So please consider being involved in the Christmas activities, especially for the poor and the vulnerable, and pay attention to other ways that we can celebrate this season of Advent, both here in the church, virtually, and at home. Have a blessed Advent, everyone, and know that we're all praying for you here at St. John's, and just ask you to say a prayer for us too.